What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a great day. Today has been a good day for stimulus talks and negotiations. We have heard from Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, about what the Democrats want. We've also heard from Mitch McConnell about what the Republicans want, and we heard from Steven Mnuchin about his role in the new stimulus negotiations. So we've got some updates. With everything that's gone on today, I've already done 2 updates earlier today. One this morning, one this afternoon. If you didn't get a chance to watch either one of those, I'll link to both of those down in the description box below. But I wanted to give you an update because so much has gone on today, and I feel it's a good time to update you guys on what is actually happening right now. We actually have a new report that just came out from Newsweek about what Mitch McConnell is proposing in his stimulus proposal that he actually sent out to his Republicans, to people in his caucus, to get their support and their feedback, and then he's going to show it to the Democrats, to the leaders, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and then probably the media would see it. However, it's already been leaked, and we are going to get to that information in just a minute. First, let's recap exactly where we're at. I had to write all this stuff down because it was a lot. First, earlier this morning, a group of 9 senators, they released a stimulus proposal for $908 billion. Here's what the proposal included. Unemployment benefits of $300 a week. Also, it's going to be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks for this benefit. It will include state and local government funding, PPP funding and EIDL loans, education funding, rental assistance, food assistance, transportation assistance for buses, airlines, metro, stuff like that. Also, healthcare funding, short-term liability protections until the states can come up with their own policies, and there's going to be a few other pieces of legislation as well. So, you obviously saw the numbers. You know it's going to be there. But this proposal, as of right now, I don't want to get into too much detail. I don't want to go any further with this because this is pretty much going to be dead. This is not going anywhere. Both parties, both leaders on both sides, Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, both shot this down, saying it just doesn't meet the needs of their party. You know, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they want a $2 trillion stimulus package. Well, this one's at $908 billion. It only has, $160 billion for state and local governments. They're never going to go for that. Mitch McConnell, he wants something less, right about $500 billion. I'm going to explain exactly what he's going to offer because we have reports of that. So just stick around. This proposal, as of right now, is just being seen as the foundation for negotiations. That's it. However, like I already said, Mitch McConnell shot this down, so did Chuck Schumer. They both did a press conference right after this proposal was released. So we got their feedback, we got their insights, all the updates right from their press conference, which is great. Mitch McConnell also stated that the way forward is going to be through a smaller scale targeted stimulus package that President Trump agrees with. So right now, that's what we know. We are getting closer, but we need the president's signature. We need the president to sign off. And that's what Mitch McConnell is trying to remind everybody. Without the president's signature, doesn't matter how much negotiations we do, it would never happen. So that's the first stimulus package that we know of. Next, we learned that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer sent a letter to Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy last night. And it's outlining the stimulus proposal from the Democratic side. However, according to Chuck Schumer, and I already stated this earlier today, if you saw the press conference, you already know this. This proposal is where Democrats feel is a good starting point. It's not like this is a take it or leave it type of proposal. This is a starting point. So that's good. However, we have absolutely no information on this proposal because Chuck Schumer stated that it was a private proposal between the leaders. He did not want to go into any details. And we have not seen any leaked reports of this proposal either. So let's move on to the third and possibly final proposal. We might not see another proposal from any party, anybody, until after January 1st. So here's where we go. This proposal from Mitch McConnell and President Trump, it's actually a proposal from Mitch McConnell, Steve Mnuchin, and Mark Meadows. Those are the three that are kind of going back and forth and trying to determine what can we do, what does President Trump, or what is he willing to sign off on. That's kind of where we're at right now. So again, we don't have a copy of this bill. All we have is a leaked report from an insider about what is going to be inside of this proposal or bill. But before we get into this, what might be in the proposal, okay, let's address what Mitch McConnell said. Mitch McConnell stated, and this is important, that any bill that is going to pass before the end of the year needs to get President Trump's support first and foremost. Without President Trump's support, the deal won't pass anyway. This is why Mitch McConnell is working directly with the Trump administration to see what he will support moving forward. Mitch McConnell did say that the stimulus proposal has not been given to the Democratic leaders as of yet. This proposal is first being sent out to Republicans, the Republican Senate, into their office so that they can try to garner their support and offer feedback first to make adjustments and modifications. Then the proposal will be sent over to our Democratic leaders for their hopeful approval. Now, this is exactly what Mitch McConnell said this morning. He said, and I quote, "I think the one thing we all agree on is we don't have time for messaging games. We don't have time for lengthy negotiations. The issue is, we want to get a result, and I like to remind everybody that the way to get a result is you have to have a presidential signature." Again, he stated that multiple times. You have to have the president's support. If he will not sign off on the bill, there's no point to continue negotiations. So, this is what's going to be included in the bill. This is according to Newsweek.com. If you want to go and check it out, go to Newsweek.com and you can check it out there. But the report is saying there will be $332 billion for another round of PPP funding. There will be corporate liability protections. There will be $105 billion for education. This is actually higher than what the 9 senators proposed earlier this morning, but it's actually about half of what the Democrats want in the HEROES Act. There's also $31 billion for development of vaccines and testing strategies. There's $16 billion for contact tracing, testing, and surveillance, and there's $20 billion to further farm relief. There was some farm relief put inside the continuing resolution that was passed back in September that expires on December 11th. However, Mitch McConnell, being that he is from Kentucky, okay, he has stated that he really wants to provide relief to farmers. And that is exactly what he's doing right here with this $20 billion. Now, when we add all this up, it comes up to $504 billion. And this, as of right now, is being what is reported as what President Trump will sign. He supports this. Now, you already know it's coming, but here's what is not in this stimulus proposal. You see it? There's no stimulus checks. No stimulus checks whatsoever. Stimulus checks are going to run about $250 billion, maybe a little bit more, and there's no money for that, according to Mitch McConnell. There's no extension for unemployment benefits. There's no rental assistance. There's no food assistance, and there's no state and local government aid either. Now, Mitch McConnell did reference that in his press conference earlier that this proposal could be attached to the omnibus bill. However, many members of Congress oppose that strategy, saying it could send the government into an unwanted shutdown come December 12th. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this proposal. First off, Steve Mnuchin just took back $455 billion from the Federal Reserve. So they have $455 billion sitting in an account that nobody's using. This bill that we are just looking at, this leaked report, is for $504 billion. Roughly $50 billion in new appropriations is all that's needed to fund this. So what Mitch McConnell is saying is, we don't want to pass any new stimulus. We don't want to provide any more money to the American people, except for $50 billion. That's it. Now, No stimulus checks. That's going to hurt a lot of people. No extension of unemployment benefits. In just 1 month, 1 month from today, we are going to see many people that have been relying on unemployment benefits, we are going to see them struggle. Because actually on December 26th, the day after Christmas, is when the unemployment benefits expire for millions of Americans. Also, no rental assistance. As of right now, we are getting close to, I think we're right about $60 billion in back rent that is owed. So no rental assistance. We also know there's 26 million Americans that are food insecure. There's no food assistance in this program. And no state and local government aid. I get it. Republicans do not want to offer any support to poorly run blue states. However, at this time, there are both Republican states and Democrat states that need help. They're going to lay off millions of workers. Probably maybe not millions. Maybe that's a little bit exaggerating a little bit. But they will lay off at least 100,000 workers, if not more, probably in the first couple weeks of January, simply because they lack the funding. Now, honestly, I think Mitch McConnell's proposals are going in the wrong direction when the entire economy is heading towards a collapse. I don't know what's going on I don't know what's going to be in the Democrats' proposal. I know what Mitch McConnell has right here based on this leaked report. But if Democrats offer a proposal over $2 trillion, then they too are not negotiating in good faith. Mitch McConnell should have came back with a proposal anywhere between 1 and 1.4. I believe that's where it needs to happen. Most experts are saying anywhere between 1.2 and 1.5 is where the proposal needs to be on both sides in order to get it passed. Those nine senators proposed a bill that's for $908 billion. Less than what many experts are saying and calling for is what is needed. So right now, I don't know what to tell you. McConnell has said, now this is something that, let me just run this by you, okay? Because this baffles me. Mitch McConnell has said that you have to have the support of the president. You need to have the president's support in order to get a bill passed. Obviously, we know this. Now, I'm not sure what is going on, but right now we know that President Trump has stated multiple times he's called for a bigger stimulus package. He's called on Congress to go big. This was before the election. But recently he stated that he supports stimulus checks. Well, okay, President Trump supports stimulus checks. But now, according to Mitch McConnell's bill, there's nothing proposed for stimulus checks. Why is that? Mitch McConnell said for a while that he believes unemployment is still needed, but in a much smaller capacity. Not $600 per week and not for 4 to 5 months. Maybe $300 a week for possibly 1 to 2 months. Okay, great. Well, where is it in this bill? Where is it? Again, I know this is just a leaked report, but usually a leaked report from Newsweek is fairly accurate. So, this is what we know right now. And I know you're frustrated. I'm frustrated as well. But trust me, stimulus will eventually come. When it comes, I don't know. What's going to be in it? Again, I don't know. Hopefully it will be something that will help out the American people. I know you're struggling. I know you need help. So I'm just trying to do what I can to keep you updated on what is actually there and going out to the American people. So, as I know more, I promise I'll come back and I'll share more. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.